Hello folks, welcome back to the Vertigo Tea Party and let's play Her Story. We're picking right back up where we left off. Still trying to fill out, we're kind of starting at the end, I realize. And if we start running in circles and not making any progress, which I guess is what running in circles means, then we will go back and start, again, try to kind of do one section at a time. Again, just so it makes more sense. For me, it makes it much easier that way. Alright, one thing I was looking at when I was checking the video, where she goes, my name is Hannah. I want to see if she says, my name is like Eve. Okay. Is it supposed to be parentheses? It said like reverse quotation marks, which is like, what the hell? It's not how you... Yeah, there we go. So I guess they mean parentheses, not whatever. Fucking British people.
He saw me singing one of my shows. Pure chance. Not sure I remember what he was even doing there. Afterwards, I had a drink at the bar and he came over and we got talking. I knew who he was. Obviously I knew who he was. But he didn't know who I was. He was fascinated by the likeness. Guessed my name from my tattoo. Told me it was a palindrome, like that would impress me. I enjoyed talking to him. It was amazing to be able to sit and interact and talk to him after all this time. He didn't tell me he was married. I'm not sure what he was thinking. He later told me it was like he was dreaming. A waking dream.
Alright, let's see if we can't find more about this show that she was performing in. I'm assuming this was like her job. Nope. Just that one. So let's see if we can't think of wording that she might use right after that situation, right? Where he was talking to her, said it was a dream, blah, blah, blah. I'm gonna guess it's gonna just show the one. Okay, it doesn't even show that. That's interesting. Let's see. Alright, I'm kind of drawing a blank on that. Let's see if she talks about her tattoo anymore.
So I moved out. Got a small bed sit. Got my tattoo to mark the occasion. I was singing in a bar in the evenings, so I had some money, enough money to cover my rent. And I've been doing something similar ever since. I haven't put down any roots. I don't exist.
So I moved out. So this is like where the shit hit the fan, I think. When they went to him and were... Well, see, I don't know. I kind of getting the impression now that maybe her and her sister had the fight, and that's why she moved out. Because otherwise, if he had known about her, then wouldn't he have just recognized her at the bar, right? Like if she said, "Oh, hey, by the way, I got this twin sister that, you know, we kind of pretend to be the same person sometimes. She's gonna move in," and he got furious about that being deceived. Then if he sees some other woman in a bar that looks exactly like his wife, then I would hope he'd put two and two together. So I'm thinking that she got in the fight with her sister, is what I'm thinking. I think we've also searched fight. Damn it, really? I'm almost positive it's used the word argument more than that. We? Huh. Stretch. Moved out. Shizen. Alright. Well, I feel like we've run dry here. There's a big session here that is really driving me nuts. Did I search for this? This is starting to be the problem now, as I'm having a hard time remembering what we have and haven't found. Okay. All right. Let's start maybe trying to go back to the beginning. Report. She's going to report a missing person. Nope. Last seen? Last saw? Huh. Sure.
I hoover my dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people asked, tell them you do it once a week, but every few weeks is okay. I think she was just trying to make me feel better. I mean, when I was there, she was hoovering every day. Ran an ordered house. You know how that generation is, putting on a brave front. She has secret stashes of cigarettes. Doug doesn't even know she smokes. When I was there, I saw her. She has these sort of porcelain vases, ornamental, next to the Reader's Digest books. Cigarettes inside. And she still has them. I mean, last time I was there, I looked in a vase. There was a fresh pack. I mean, all those years of marriage, and she still has a secret like that.
Foreshadowing. What was her name again?
I hoover my dust every week. Maybe less. I once asked Eleanor how often I should dust, and she said, if people asked, tell them you do it once a week, but every...
Alright. That's kind of a little bit before the middle there. Oh, I'm guessing that's Simon's mother.
Yeah. I've been round to Doug and Eleanor's, and they're very worried. I feel sorry for them. Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I had to park down the end of the road. Walked up, knocked on the door, no answer. I took my keys out of my bag and unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. You can tell because the key doesn't turn when you try to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on the peg. I couldn't see his shoes in the shoe rack. I shouted out. I walked straight into the kitchen because he usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper, but he wasn't there. I touched the kettle. It was cold. I looked quickly in the living room. Nothing. So I walked upstairs to the bedroom and he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. I had a shower. The phone rang whilst I was in the shower. I didn't answer it. I think it was Eric. Then I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, though I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. This time I spoke to him. Then I called Doug and Eleanor. And then I decided to come and see you. Fair enough? 1984 was an awful year in the end. We were living at Doug and Eleanor's. I lost the baby at the end of spring and my parents died in the summer. It was a hot summer, a heat wave. So when they discovered the bodies, it was just awful.
Nasty.
Because of the circumstances, them dying together like that, they brought in a lot of police. The forensic entomologist. I had to look that up. It was because of the heat. It's just awful.
Didn't she say the other girl? Well, I mean, because at this point, we have to presume that either one of these can be the same person. They both, like, every single person in every video could be Eve, or it could be even Hannah switching back. Like, I'm fairly certain the girl at the end is Eve. Now, if you really want a real brain screw, like, it could be Hannah pretending to be Eve. You know, who knows? But it's probably Eve, because I don't think she's getting out of there without going behind bars. But I'm still trying to think of things that she would say at the beginning. Let's go ahead and we'll go ahead and listen to this one.
Yes. I speak with Eleanor at least once a day. Not that there's anything much to say. It's more just...
I got the achievement for that. Interesting. When was that? Oh, that was right in the middle here. So that was after. So this was after, like, they really started to worry. Like, up here is the first report. Like, she come home. He wasn't where he was supposed to be. She fell asleep. A few hours later, he still wasn't there. Nobody knew where he was. She called in. So then here, I'm guessing, is around where this is being recorded, where he's probably been gone. Well, we said the initial report was that looks like the 0th of the month, which I'm kind of don't think that's correct. But that's pretty funny, actually. When was this? Because you had the blue dress on. So this was June 18th. And this was July the 1st. So it's been like 2 weeks. So he's been missing 2 weeks. So at this point, or at least 2 weeks by now. So I'm thinking right at 2 weeks, because I'm pretty sure this is the day he went missing. Speaking of the day he went missing, damn. Nope. Okay. Stretch, but I don't think she's ever mentioned the baby name, has she? Anyway, let's listen to these.
So, it was Friday evening. We had an argument. He left. On Saturday, he didn't come back. I waited all day. He was supposed to go help Eric out with something on the Saturday afternoon. They had a job. He didn't show. So Eric was ringing on the phone. I checked at the Rock, that's our local. They said they'd seen him on the Friday night, but not since. He still wasn't back this morning. It just isn't like him at all. Still not back by dinner time. It's getting dark again. So I decided to come see you. His parents haven't heard anything either.
So it was probably Saturday. From the sound of it, sounds like this is like the Saturday. Because, you know, she mentioned, you know, him drinking tea and reading paper. You tend to do that in the morning, or at least that's the stereotypical time to read the paper, right? Probably like in the morning, you read the morning paper or whatever. So when she woke up, but that's kind of weird that she woke up and he wasn't there either. I don't know. Anyway, let's listen to these.
I got pregnant. Both our parents had a big powwow. We weren't even in the room, and they decided we should get married. No. I lost the baby. I had a miscarriage at 8 months. We carried on living at Simon's parents until, well, it was only a few months after. Then my parents died. It was the worst year of my life. The miscarriage and then my parents.
So here's what I'm thinking too, like, especially with them giving different stories, because I presume that the whole thing about the mushrooms, that to me, that sounds like, well, I mean, that sounded like she was talking about her parents, right? When Eve was talking about, she said something about coming down, she didn't hear them, and they had, like, basically died vomiting or whatever. And he said they had eaten some bad mushrooms. Well, if she's living in the attic and that was her parents' old house or her mother's or whatever, then I would think that would be them, even though I don't remember the father being in a lot of this. But at any rate, but she was saying they died due to the heat. So that's a little bit funky there. I'm kind of wondering if Hannah didn't murder the shit out of her parents for some reason, but why? I guess I don't understand why she would have done it. Maybe we haven't uncovered any information about it. But, she lost the baby and then kill her parents. That seems weird. You gotta think, well, why would Eve do it as well? I don't quite get that yet, but anyway.
Yes. I inherited it from my parents, so it made sense to move back. Me and Simon. Felt like going back to old ways before the pregnancy. Reminded me of being a girl, a dollhouse in the attic, old things. We didn't sleep in my parents' bedroom for a long time. We decorated it as soon as we moved in, but it was another year before we started sleeping there.
How long before you start doing it in your dead parents' bedroom? That would be creepy to the max. See, there's nothing. Let's look the mushroom thing up again.
No. The whole thing was wrong. The bags, I think they were from our kitchen. You could probably check that. We never go into the cellar. It's just a place we put things we don't need. Dad used to grow mushrooms there. The bags were taped up. I think it was parcel tape, but I think it was ours. They said it was food poisoning. There was something in the food they ate. My dad liked to pick mushrooms, grow them too. They said it was the mushrooms. It was hard to believe. Death caps. They have a skirt around the cap. My dad taught me that. But, the police had no reason to think it was suspicious. They lived alone. And no one had any reason to hurt them.
See, so again, she's saying about the death caps here. I wonder if that's maybe what tipped the police off that she was talking to, because earlier she was like, oh, heat exhaustion. And now she's like, oh, mushrooms. Damn it.
It's the Rockington Arms. The rock.
Let's look at this rock.
Oh God, I don't know. I guess the rock. You've spoken to everyone there. Someone must have seen where he went. I don't know. So many things could have gone wrong. No one has been in the last few weeks. We had a plumber come in 3-4 weeks ago. Someone sounded new from the rock.
Alright, so like we're now it feels like we're kind of shooting in the dark, because like I said, now kind of the problem is these, like, I have no way of like clicking on it to know, like, what's there. Alright. I thought maybe she'd say wore, like, this is what he wore or something like that. Wow, this is actually near the end.
Yes, it was a cremation for the best. We both wore black and had veils, so it was easy. And after the funeral, everyone came back to the house. Hannah served up sandwiches, and I stayed out of sight.
Talking about her parents' funeral, I presume. Cat, I swear to God. Alright. Poison?
At the time they said it was poison, food poisoning. I mean, I felt so guilty. If I'd still been at home, maybe I could have done something. I don't know. I got a job to contribute, you know.
Contribute.
Doug knew someone and I got a job as a dinner lady at the primary school. They said it didn't matter if I could cook or not, just don't poison the kids. So you see, it's always been complicated between me and Simon. It's never just been the two of us. There's always been pressure.
You could say that again. Let's see. And there's a lot we're missing too. Holy cow. Like, it feels like we were making such, like, it feels like we had such a huge jump at the beginning. Like, hopping to Alibi basically told us what happened. Talking about calling the police. Yeah, it still bothered me, this whole session thing. Because like I say, it feels like I should be sorting these, but even then, it would be very difficult to remember, like, oh, where was this in the order? Like how would you remember that? Who would remember that? I'm sure somebody's done it.
It was after dinner. I'd spoken to Sam's parents on the phone. I looked up for an early night and I suddenly had this thought. I think it was something his mum had said. She'd been speaking about old stuff, sad stuff, about when we lived there, about the baby. There's some boxes in the cellar, nursery stuff we never needed, and I never had the heart to throw out. And I suddenly remembered that when I looked down there the week before, those boxes, that pile was in the wrong place. I went cold all over. I went down there with a torch and went straight to the back, and that's when I saw the bin bags. Pulled them open, saw the body. I screamed, and that's when I called the police.
Whoa, okay, that seems relevant. I forget that that's what she called them. We're definitely going to go back to that, but let's listen to this.
When will the police let me back in the house? And they let me take a bag of clothes with me, but... Okay. I parked up on the street. It was busy, so I parked down the end of the road. I walked up to the house. I knocked on the door. No answer. I took my keys out of my bag, unlocked the door. The main lock was unlocked. I could tell because the key wouldn't turn when I tried to turn it to the left. I walked in. Simon's coat wasn't on a peg. I couldn't see his shoes on the shoe rack. I shouted out for him. I walked straight into the kitchen. He usually sits in there to have a cup of tea and read his paper. He wasn't there. I touched the kettle, it was cold. I looked quickly into the living room, nothing. I walked upstairs to the bedroom, he wasn't there. I didn't search for him because it was pretty clear he wasn't there. Then I had a shower. Whilst I was in the shower, the phone rang. I think it was Eric, his boss. I didn't answer it. Then I came out and I was just exhausted. So I lay down on the bed and I fell asleep, but I didn't mean to. I woke up a couple of hours later and I was surprised to see no one in the bed next to me. And then I remembered where I was and what had happened. That's when Eric called again. I spoke to him. Then I called Simon's parents. And then I decided to come and see you. That enough?
Oh, was that when Mark? Because I was gonna say, okay, she's repeating what we've already heard, but I thought that one had the eyeball. I guess not. Let's do a search for Eric. I don't think we did.
Yes, there's a car that we share, a Cavalier, and a van he uses for work. It's owned by Eric, but we look after it. Both of them are there now, parked on the street. I'm not sure about the keys for the van. I can look for you when I get back.
Cavalier, eh? We'll look that up in a minute.
Yes, that would be in his wallet. It's a Visa, a silver one. He doesn't like to spend money he doesn't have, so he usually pays with cash, but Eric convinced him to get one. Well, Eric was like an uncle to him. They were pretty close. They spent a lot of time with each other, especially when they have to go to conferences. Have you met his wife, Diane?
Dirty Diane. Oh, she'll talk. I almost hit escape to close it. By the way, indie game devs never, ever make escape. Just auto-close the game. Never, my god. Alright. Cavalier. Damn it. Can I get it close? Cavalier. That's a bitch. I feel like at some point we're going to get to a part where we're just looking for words. We're just like typing like butt, baby, crib, car, walrus, like trying to figure out Tavalier. Okay, so the one she mentioned, the van, the Visa card. I just sort of kind of have a method. I don't. Diane. Tell us about Diane.
Diane is really nice.
Is she?
She helps out with the glaziers, organises the Christmas party, that sort of thing. They have 2 kids, really sweet kids. She used to look out for me when I worked there. Not really. He would go to the pub. He had his drinking buddies there, but no one ever really came back to the house. Sometimes Eric, his boss, and his wife would come over for dinner. That would be us returning the favour. Diane is a really good cook, into her trendy ingredients. And the last time Simon cooked something off MasterChef, he got the recipe off Ceefax, and I did my Lloyd Grossman bit, commenting from the sidelines. I had to find fennel from the supermarket. Have you ever eaten fennel?
Yes, achievement. Knocking them out of the park.
Simon and Eric arguing? No, I can't imagine they'd be arguing when they get on so well. Unless it was something to do with work. Maybe Simon was being too much of a perfectionist. But I don't know. You should ask Diane.
Interesting. What's up with that?
You want me to play something? Well, I'm not the world's greatest guitar player. Okay? Probably needs tuning. No, it's okay. How about a traditional ballad? Should be right up your street. There were two sisters came walking by the sea. Oh, the wind and the rain. The eldest one pushed the other one in. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. See, they both had a love for the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. But he only cared for the youngest one. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, the eldest envied her sister fair. Oh, the wind and the rain. With a pretty little face and her long blonde hair. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. So she pushed her in and held her down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Watched her as she slowly drowned. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Oh, she floated up and she floated down. Oh, the wind and the rain. Floated till a ship came by. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. Out comes the captain's son. Oh, the wind and the rain. Father dear, here swims and swans. Oh, the dreadful wind and rain. And then it gets really weird, so I think that's a good place to stop.
I mean, obviously, that song was about her and her sister and the love of that guy. And she even talked about that one time she tried to drown her sister. That's another thing I was kind of wondering. And it takes me a while to kind of put things together in my head. But one thing I thought was maybe they had this charade going and she really did kill her sister, but in her head, like she was still alive and they were still doing this thing. I think that's a stretch. I wouldn't put much money in that, but yeah. And obviously this goes back to her, Eve, being a singer. Now they both could sing maybe, but this makes me think maybe this is Eve, the one in the blue shirt who came in on July 1st. Maybe that's Eve.
No, Simon didn't play guitar. He wasn't very musical. He liked to listen, but he was tone deaf. Yes. Yeah, it's my guitar.
I'm gonna guess those were right by each other. Yeah, I think these were both that. I was trying to...
Really? Okay.
This is a weird interview, man. Oh. What the hell?
was the only tune that the field could play was all the dreadful wind and rain. Anything you sing may be used as evidence against you.
Yes, actually. Very much so. Book 'em. It's such a weird, like, they're like interviewing, which at that point, I mean, I guess she's probably not technically a suspect, though I guess you probably kind of always are, especially when you're the relative or loved one, whatever. But, I'm gonna look for the wind and the rain thing. I'm gonna guess, yeah. Dreadful. Oh, it's dreadful. Mighty dreadful. I also want to look for the blonde thing. I think the wig was blonde. I believe that she said that she used. I presume that that's relevant in some way.
I think he spoke to Helen. She said he was upset about her argument, but I'm not sure what else he said. He likes Helen. He likes blondes.
So that could be why she wore, if she did wear a blonde wig, which again I think she did, maybe that's why she wore it, because she knew that he liked blondes.
Could the hairs have come from somewhere else? I mean, could they... We have a lot of dolls in the attic. There's a Rapunzel doll with long blonde hair. Could they have come from there?
So yeah, they found hair, the blonde hair on the body. So this is obviously after they found the body, right? So, oh well, probably, I think. So 0630. Okay, no, actually I wrote that the 27th he was dead as well. But I guess they found the hairs or what, and they're bringing her back in to find out about the blonde hairs.
This other person doesn't exist. I don't know what the blonde wig is, but it could be anything. Have you looked at the cat flap?
The cat flap?
No, they were shut. Most of the windows were really hard to open anyway. They're stifling in summer. They were painted over by my dad. Could have left a door open accidentally. Or there's a cat flap in the back door. No cat. My parents had a cat before they died called Domino. It was this little black thing with white dots. And we never did anything about the cat flap, but if you were thin, you could maybe squeeze through it.
Either a super thin person or a pretty darn big cat flap. Not to, judge your cat flap, ma'am. See, the problem is, like, when I look at all... See, this is why I kind of like being more central, right? Like, looking at the same ones, because I can kind of follow one path and kind of focus. Here, I'm thinking, oh, I want to check this, and then I hear another video from another day. I'm like, oh, then maybe we could go this way. But I'm curious about this wig. I want to find out more about the body, them actually finding the body, them actually telling her about it, and like I want to get more reactions from her right after they found it.
A wig? You mean, what type of wig? No, I've never worn a wig. What kind of wig?
Yes, this is the wig stuff. So this is what? The 30th. Okay, yeah, this is also afterwards. If you were searching from the perspective of the detectives, I think it'd be easier. I could search for things like, body and, corpse, or, and I can try corpse, but But like, if you're coming more from the questions, I think it's easier than trying to come from the other end, from the answers that she would have given, because you had to know how she would word it. Because generally, you know, for the police are going to word things in a very specific way, right? They're not going to say like, we found the dead guy or whatever. They're going to say, we found the corpse, we found the body. They're going to say they tend to say very limited words, so they'd be easier from that perspective. Anyway,
The bruise. I have a really fast metabolism, so stuff like that just comes and goes. I don't know if there's much more that I can tell you that I haven't already told the other policemen. I found the body.
oh, okay. That was all right. Yeah. So she found his body as well. Well, that's the story anyway. This is another kind of a path I wanted to follow, the abuse, because obviously you got to ask the question, why did they kill him in the first place? I mean, nothing else has really been said much about like physical abuse other than the bruise thing she just mentioned. But they obviously kill him for a reason. I guess the other side was because they wanted to be back together again. I don't know, but there definitely was a baby involved, because the other sister did get pregnant, and we don't think that she had a miscarriage. So, bruise, abuse, physical, drunk. I'm writing words down that I think somebody would say that's related to that. Abusive.
His body. Did not real. And his throat. It looked like his throat had been cut. And I didn't see his glasses. He has these thick glasses. He doesn't always wear them.
Sorry, I keep trying to remember to move the cursor out of the way, because honestly, half the time, like they're talking, I'm kind of writing stuff down. So let's go more the abuse angle here. Let's talk about the bruise.
Bruise? Oh yeah, no, it's nothing. I was going through the top cupboard in my kitchen, and the chair slipped, and I kind of hit the door with my face. We hurt like hell.
This is near the end, or at the end.
If one of us got hurt, the other one would have to be hurt too. A grazed knee, a bruise. When I lost my tooth first, we had to pull out Hannah's to match.
Ouch.
Once, I slept with a boy who was seeing another girl. The girlfriend came up to Hannah the next day and punched her in the face, gave her a huge black eye. That night, she had to do the same to me. But she almost went too far. I couldn't see out of that eye for days. But she snapped a frozen piece up for me from the kitchen. So much of our bodies was synchronized anyway. We started our period on the same day. All our childhood diseases, stomach bugs, nits.
Yeah, I'm trying to start writing my notes more like line them out. So along the abuse line, I'm writing like bruise, abuse, physical, drunk, abusive, etc. And then along the lines of finding the corpse, I'm writing like body, corpse, throat, cut, slit, the things like that. But yeah, I really like the way, this is a very interesting way of telling a story. I've got to say, I'm pretty impressed with how the story's being told. And you know, it's obviously not even remotely realistic. In no way, shape, or form would you ever be coming up and doing an investigation in the way they were doing it. And I could definitely see this getting frustrating to the point that like you're at 70% in and you just feel like you're just typing random words in to try to fill out the rest. And again, I don't even know if you have to fill out the rest. Like, what is the victory condition? Do you just go like, okay, well, I guess I'm done, and you're finished? Or, I mean, I don't know. I guess you kind of go until you say that you're done. All right, let's keep going with the abuse angle. Even though I want to check that synchronized thing as well at some point. That could be important. She's mentioned that at least twice now. I think, again, some of these you've probably looked for physical, as in getting physical. Get out. And also another part of this is, well, one, I'm a terrible speller. I think that's right. But another part is that with it being, and this is going to sound kind of weird, with it being British, some of their, like, terms are different. Like, even small things like vacation. You know, in America we say vacation, in Britain they say go on holiday. And they said exactly like that. Go on holiday? You what? Oh yeah, it's nice there, isn't it? But that is correct. But so I don't know. For the most part, obviously 95% of our termage in term of this game anyway is going to be pretty spot on. So, but anyway, it could still be weird. Drunk or drink or alcohol. I kind of want to look for that. Drink.
No, not drugs.
Drugs?
He drinks, but never very much. He goes to the pub and has one or two. Sometimes we go together. He drinks wine with food, but no, he doesn't have any kind of drinking problem.
That's the other thing you got to think about too. I don't think... So we look for a drink. We got those three. Now if we look for drinking, we get different results, right? Drink gets this. So drink does not get drinking. Does that make sense? Which is kind of a pisser. Which I can kind of see why they did that. Could I do this? Probably not. No. I thought maybe if we put a wild card in there. So we have to specifically look for drinking. That's why it's so important too to try to think of all the different variations of these terms. I'm definitely getting the impression he was
About 8 years back.
Alcoholic, possibly.
He was a present to myself. I shouldn't even be drinking coffee with the baby. It's been hard trying to give it up. I think they say you can have 1 cup.
I did search for tattoo, right? We'll go back to this. I guess. I think we did, but we weren't going back.
He doesn't have any tattoos. He has a scar down here near his stomach, past his hip. Cut himself with some glass. That was before, a long time ago. He looks just like the photo. He's not got his glasses on here though. He takes them off for the camera. But he needs them to see properly, you know. He has to read a newspaper or a menu in a restaurant. Not book so much, or watching TV. He likes TV.
Well, we all do, ma'am.
Oh, my tattoo. I got it to express my individuality. It's an apple and a snake.
Obviously, again, that's significant. One, because if she gets the tattoo, the other girl would have to get the tattoo, which I'm getting the impression she probably didn't. And that's also probably why anytime we see her with a long sleeve shirt, like up here, we don't see the tattoo. So that could be Hannah, unless she also got the same tattoo. But I get the impression she didn't. I get the impression she didn't. 1 second, I'm writing some stuff down on the tattoo line here. There's the apple and the snake, which obviously Adam and Eve. But yeah, and obviously the note about individuality It's about her being basically becoming her own person, right? Like she's kind of breaking that connection they have, breaking the mirror, if we want to go that route, by getting the tattoo that her reflection won't have. Whoa. All right. So, apple, snake, individuality. Damn computer needs a spell check. Adam, Eve. Adam and Eve. Yeah. Yep. Roger. Wait a minute. She talked about Eve here? Hold on. I want to listen to this. I don't remember this.
Well.
Oh.
Eve. I mean, she was a friend from when I was a kid. And she was always more popular with the boys, and I used to hate her for it. I mean, really hate her sometimes.
Yeah, okay, now I remember. That's when she was talking about Eve as her friend, and this is where, you know, they talked about how like she tried to drown her that once and blah blah blah. It was just the once, and this is where she was by herself and obviously didn't realize she's being recorded. I want to watch this one again.
What are you doing talking about Eve?
I like that look she gave the camera, like, ah, shit. Was that thing on? And also the little finger tapping, right? It was kind of like... So I guess that's lighting up, because that's the one I just listened to. So I guess if you re-listen to them, it'll show you again which one you just listened to, which is cool. Still would rather be able to click it and have it open up on its own. And maybe you can do that, and I missed it, but... Anyway, let's go back to the abuse line. Alcoholic. Nope. Drunk. I think we did that one. Yeah, drunk. Abusive. So I'm just going through my list here. Abuse. Let's try black, like black eyes.
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. I'm sweet enough as it is.
Wow. See, that sounds more like Eve to me, because Eve is the one that's more like flirty and going forward, right? But another thing too, I noticed when, you know, supposedly Hannah, and we think that's Hannah because she's saying Hannah, 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 why are you talking about Eve? See, there's two ways you could look at that, right? There's two ways I think you can look at the whole Hannah, 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 why are you talking about Eve? One, she's Hannah, and she's saying like, oh God, like, you know, I would go, oh, Johnny, why are you doing this, you idiot? So she's talking to herself, why are you talking about Eve? That's the way you're supposed to take it. Obviously, like, before you know what's going on, you're supposed to, and you know, you think she's Hannah, and there is no Eve, at least none that's relevant to the story. So you assume she's talking about herself and chastising herself about talking about Eve. The flip side is that it's Eve, and she's either saying, Hannah, 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 why are you talking about Eve? As in, like, kind of chastising Hannah in her mind, right? Like, you know how, you know, you find, you know, cookie crumbs all over the counter, and you're like, person I live with who eats cookies and leaves crumbs everywhere. Like, how could you, you know, that kind of a thing. Or another angle is it's Eve but she's repeating to herself, Hannah, Hannah, Hannah. Like, no, 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 no. You're supposed to be Hannah. You're supposed to be Hannah. Why are you talking about Eve? You shouldn't even be talking about Eve, who is herself, right? She's saying Hannah, 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 as in that's who I am. That's definitely me. There's no Hannah. I think that's probably the least likely scenario there, but an interesting one to consider, nonetheless. I think.
Oh, tastes fine to me, as long as it's black and strong. I'm good.
See, clips like that, you have to think there's very specific terms that you have to search for. Because listen to that, it's 5 seconds.
Oh, tastes fine to me, as long as it's black and strong. I'm good.
That way, that's like 2 sentences, like 10 words. It's very interesting stuff like that. That's what worries me. That's what I'm saying. Like, how are we going to get all of them? I don't know if we even will. I feel like I need to look up something, not how to beat the game, quote unquote, but like, when are you done? Like I said, I guess you just kind of, you're done when you feel like you're done, which is an very interesting aspect as well.
Black no sugar. Thanks.
Okay, so they were consistently, again, that was a super short one. Black, no sugar, thanks. So that was it. Like, there was no more to that. So obviously you had to be looking for something very, very specific, because she didn't even mention coffee. She just said black, no sugar. Interesting. How many entries were found? 6? More than I had expected.
A cup of tea would be good, thanks. Just 1 sugar.
So she wanted sugar in her coffee here. I mean, in her tea.
Just the 1 sugar. Thanks. Is that camera recording?
So, and there's other little aspects like this that if I were playing by myself, I probably would investigate a little bit more carefully. But both times here, well, it's the same day, obviously. She wants a sugar in her tea. She doesn't. Oops, I didn't mean to do that, but that's fine.
A black coffee, thanks. No sugar. I'm sweet enough as it is.
So she says how she's sweet and doesn't need sugar here, but that she wants the sugar in her tea. Now, I mean, obviously different drinks, and I'm not a coffee drinker, so I can't really compare them myself. She did say sugar. Yeah, because you said I'm sweet enough as it is. If you look here,
black no sugar. Thanks.
So here she's wearing a different shirt, no sugar again.
Coffee, I guess. Milk and sugar.
Aha! I mean, not that we don't already have it figured out, but yes. See, they were definitely switching places. Well, I mean, obviously sometimes maybe you want sugar in your coffee, sometimes you don't. But in this case, I think it's fairly safe to say that these are probably the same people. Here and here are probably the same. And then here and here, it's the same person. Now, my guess is that this is Eve. I think this is a different dress, right? Yes, because it's a different day. It's a different day. So, I think these are Eve, and I think these are Hannah. Because she's very flirty. And she seems a little, like, awkward in these. Not so much here.
Black no sugar. Thanks.
I mean, not that she really had a lot of time to be awkward. And I'm sure there's other clips that we could look at. But I bet you that's Hannah and these are Eve. Anyway, I don't know why that in particular pleased me so much to I think figure out. But I think that's an interesting little detail. Oh, look, they've actually We get the very first one and the very last one. We're done now. We beat the game. We figured the coffee situation has been resolved. Let's look for, coffee. I'm sorry if I keep searching for the same things. You know my memory. Let's listen to this one.
No. I've had enough coffee for today, thanks. Glass of water.
And so the tattoo has got to be Eve. Well, again, most likely Eve, because she's the one who kind of got stuck out from the marriage and all that. Kat really, really wants to be in my nerves today. On my nerves today. I bet this is the end of the session. I bet this is near the end of the session as well. Last thing we do for this video, let's look for tea. Like, I'm on this tea and coffee kick now.
Could I have a cup of tea?
Wow. I mean, I'm already forgetting which shirt is which. Hopefully you guys at home watching are better remembering, but she just asked for tea there. She doesn't say which.
Maybe a fresh cup of tea?
Damn, she's chugging the damn tea. Holy hell. Oh no, wow, there was quite a bit. So apparently she had a lot of coffee by then. I'm wondering, when is this? This is the 30th? Is this when we've... Alright, yeah, this is definitely... The 27th is the earliest, as far as I can tell, that they know that he's dead. Alright, so now that we've solved the great coffee and tea and sugar mystery, I think we're going to end the video here. It's been an hour. Right past an hour. Hopefully you guys are still enjoying this. This is actually a pretty cool little game, as it were. But I'm actually enjoying it. I like kind of putting all the pieces together, and it's interesting how the narrative is unfolding. So I'm pretty darn pleased with this game so far. It's neat. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave comments in the comments section below. Try to avoid, well, never mind. I was gonna say avoid spoilers, but I think we figured out what happened within the first 10 minutes just by blind luck. Anyway, thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you next time.